Hello and welcome to the post-match reaction video for Nepal versus India game. I did not wanted to do this video, but Sudesh made sure that we have a video here. I was very disappointed with the overall result, but India played draw against Nepal in the first match of the two-match series in Kathmandu. Anjan Bista, which we highlighted a lot during our match preview and the I think lineup live streaming, scored for Nepal after very bad defensive mistake from Sana, and Andrew Thapa came from bench to score the equalizer for India in the 60th minute. Both the scorer are in your screen. I'm joined by Sudesh, who is Nepali uh, citizen, of course, joining me from Qatar. I think disappointing result for our Indian fans, but as we've seen on the ground, the crowd reaction. So there's what this result mean for the Nepali football and Nepali fans. And I have said this, I will say again, it might be a friendly game for India and Indian fans. I think for Nepali people playing against India in football is a war. So what this result meant for Nepali fans and Nepali football team?
Yeah, first of all, we had to do this stream, and then it feels really good to be here. So, coming to a question, I think this is one of the most important fixtures that Nepalese fans look forward to throughout the year. And considering we played a draw with India, I think these are the hints of positive signs that the Nepali side is going to improve in the future. So if you look at the recent performances, we last beat India in 2013 in the senior side match, and then it has never been that easy of a contest. So this means a lot, and since this is the beginning, we didn't lose. We at least grinded out a draw, and I think it's a positive sign. So it means like a happy day, not that disappointing as an Indian fan for the Nepalese football fraternity.
I know. I think some people who are connected to me on Twitter, they know that what I was tweeting during the game. I think game started with a disappointment. Of course, the lineup. I'm not sure who is responsible for that hauler. Sana was of course responsible for the first goal which India conceded. But I think for me personally, I was doing the live streaming. I saw the lineup. I saw Brendan, Dheeraj playing as a left back, Aminder instead of Gurpreet. I think I'm not sure it's a broadcaster is responsible. Just question to you, Sudesh. Was there hero on the score line at the Nepali feed also?
Yeah, there was Hero on the Nepali feed as well.
So is it hero the sponsor of Nepal national team, or because hero is a sponsor of Indian football team for sure?
Okay, so this is what I got an information from. So this the two set of matches that are happening in Kathmandu. These are like these matches are the most expensive matches in the history of Nepali broadcast. So the rights were sold in the most expensive amount, around 25 lakhs Nepalese rupees. And one of the conditions was that the broadcaster will give free broadcasting rights to the Indian AIFF. So that's where the whole thing comes up from. So the stream that the Indian fans saw and the Nepalese fans saw, it was the same.
No, but is hero the national team sponsor of
No, no, no,
Nepal?
no,
It's a
no.
sponsor of Indian football team for sure. If
Yeah.
AFF made sure the hero is visible in Nepal and India on the score line, on the scorecard, and on the substitution card, I'm not sure why they not made sure the correct picture of the players, correct name of the players are shown on the live streaming and on the broadcast, is watched by the millions of people. I think it's a shame for as a Indian fans that there is already an identity crisis for the Indian footballers in India. I'm not sure majority of Indian people know Indian footballers, and then we do mistake like these. If they made sure that their sponsor is clearly visible on the stream and the telecast, I think they should have made sure the correct pictures and correct name of the players are there. Another thing which happened, before we go into the match, there's a tweet from AFF, and I tweeted this, and I'm not sure many people are there or not on my Twitter handle, but I tweeted one thing. AFF, of course, Glenn Martins came off at the after the halftime. This tweet is still there, by the way. AFF has tweeted 75 minutes. Rahim Ali collects in the defensive third and launches the counter, playing it to Glenn Martins, who put Manveer through. As I said, there is identity crisis for Indian footballers, and then we do a National Football Federation doing mistake like these. You have wrong pictures, wrong name of the players coming off the screen, and the commentator was not briefed properly to not use the middle name. He was using Benny for Saritan Fernandez. He was using Glenn Martin's middle name. I think it's not the commentator mistake. Of course, he's a Nepali citizen. He knows about Nepal football, but somebody would from Indian side would have briefed him properly that the middle names can be ignored, because and that's one thing. Another thing is the pictures. I think it was overall India's performance was a disaster. The overall the streaming and the everything related to this match was disaster. Talking about the first goal, I think Nepal dominated India. I
Yeah.
will very honestly, first half Nepal could have scored multiple goals. I think more than one for sure. And talking about the lineup, India's lineup, I think Rahul Beke played as a right back, and then you have Subhashish Bose and Sana as a centre back. Akash Mishra played a left back. They started at least. Glenn Martins and Suresh was the midfielder with Brendan as the number 10 and Manveer on right, Liston on left, and Sunil Chetri as a centre forward. This was India's lineup. Before I go ahead, so Sudesh, can you give the Nepal lineup, please?
Yeah, so Nepalese lineup was Kiran Limbu at goal, and then a back four of Dinesh Rajbangshi, Ananta Tamang, Gautam Shrestha, and Suman Aryal. And then the midfield was Suman Lama, Puzan Uparkoti, Tej Tamang, and the forward line consisted of 17-year-old teenager Ais Kalan, Navik Shrestha, and Anjan Bista, of course. So it was a 4-3-3 in Nepal's terms.
And we highlighted Anjan Vista multiple times during yesterday previews. I think lots of people are already joined in who were there in yesterday, and we were talking about that. Anjan Vista can do well and can also play in ISL going ahead in future. That he is the man to watch, and he's shown that. I think he did well with that finish with the left foot. I think he kept his calm. Gurpreet was coming back, Sana was coming back, and he made sure that he controlled that and that finished it well. So how the overall Nepali people have reacted, because I think he's the new star man for Nepal now.
Yeah, I mean, Anjan Bista is basically everything that Nepalese people wanted Bimal Magar to be, that kind of a breakout star who would lead them into the future. And Anjan Bista, in recent years, and especially under Almutairi, has been a standout performer. Everything in the attack goes through him, and everything that he does has kind of resulted into dangerous moves for Nepal. Although he was not as involved as the Nepalese coach would like him to be today, he was kind of nullified. The first half was pretty good. The second half, we didn't see much of him, but he's been there and he's been their key man, Nepal's key man to progress and get the ball from the middle third to the final third. And in the particular finish that we're talking about, he was constantly pressuring and pushing the shoulders of the last defender, and in that instance he continuously pressured Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, and then that's how he got the chance to finish that. So I think that's also impressive in that regard.
Talking about India's first half performance, I think as already one user have already commented why Brendan was playing so deep. I think that's a concern when you play with midfielder like Suresh and Glenn Martins as a pivot, because both are the defensive midfielder. You are playing two number six. They can't progress the ball up front. So Brendan was dropping deep, and he played I think couple of good over the top balls. For I think once for Liston, one for Sunil Chetri. Both could have been they could have done better to get something out of those ball. And I was surprised when Brendan got served at the halftime. I'm not sure. And I was during the game, I tweeted that what Andrew Thapa has to do to start game for Igor Stimac. And by the time we went to the halftime, Nepal was leading 1-0. It's not about leading. Also, the performance was very, very bad for India. And I have no shame to say that Nepal was a deserving team to lead that first half, and I think they could have scored more. And there were already Indian fans tagging me, tweeting everywhere, that what this performance means for India. And the state yesterday, I was saying that this can be the second innings for Igor Stimac, where he wants to win the game. Overall, he just has won two games for India, and I think another game now, which is a drawn. So his record is getting bad day by day. And the way first half went, I was I was fearing that Nepal might come with the crowd support. We have seen that the roar of the crowd when the Nepal scored the goal, even this just 5,000 people. And I think many of the Indian new fans, they doesn't know about what is to play Nepal in Kathmandu in Dasat Stadium. And I think that many of people have seen that today, that with just 5,000 fans, they can make difference. And and Igor Stimac reacted, by the way, we are all reacting on social media. He made four changes at halftime. One of them was surprise. Thapa came. I was not surprised because India was get dominated in the midfield. And that's my another question to you. Even India was playing two defensive midfielder. How can India was getting the dominated in the midfield by Nepali midfielders? What they have done, is it just formation because they're playing 4-3-3, that they have three men over the two Indian midfielders?
Yeah, I have like two or three explanations for this, how the whole domination thing happened. I covered certain games when India were playing here in Qatar, and one thing that I noticed in particular with Glenn Martins is he he is kind of a midfielder who likes to link up with defense rather than going forward. And he's needed in the side, no doubts about that. He can be a very good screen. He can be in a very good screening role ahead of the defenders. But when you play like in a double pivot like that, you cannot expect that creativity to kind of flourish, and you cannot expect those through balls to go breaking the lines or finding someone like Brendan. And in my article in Khel now about the top five battles that we're going to see uh, between India and Nepal, I expected India and especially Brendan Fernandez to play in a very advanced role, and that didn't happen today because he was not getting the balls. So that's the main reason why he was dropping so deep. And then I expected him to be in a fight, in a battle with Pujan Uperkoti, who is the defensive midfielder, but he never went there. And he was being completely,
No, so I will just to add
neutralized
or
by
add
the
on
attacking
this.
midfielders.
Yeah, just to add on this, during when I did a team news live streaming, I was getting very happy that Brendan finally is playing as a number 10. Under
Yeah.
Igor Stimac, we have seen as a number 8, sometime left winger. I thought with the two sitters there, Brendan will have a freedom to just play behind Sunil Chetri. And I was saying that Brendan can score goals. I have seen him scoring goals. And by
Yeah.
the time that first half was going on, I never seen Brendan in a final third. He was just dropping deep at the position of left back, sometime of the defensive midfield, to get the ball from Glenn Marty and Suresh, and they did not have a confidence to play that forward ball. All those vertical passes, when their passes were horizontal, going sideways, and I am not sure. I think Suresh tried once or twice, but I'm not sure they and especially considering both are physical midfielder. I was surprised that Nepal dominated India in the midfield. And I think which Igor Stimac also took a note of. And at halftime, he brought in four subs. Surprised with some of them. Thapa came, he replaced Brandon. Of course, Rahim Ali came, he replaced Glenn Martins. And honestly, I'm not sure Rahim Ali made any difference in that match. He was all over the pitch, and I'm not sure he took any shots or he contributed anything in attacking play. And the other change was Saritan Fernandez came, which was I was saying on my live streaming before the game that he should have started. He replaced Akash Mishra, and also Liston went out and Sahel came. And another thing with Sahel, same with Rahim Ali, I think Sahel was also confused. He also didn't contributed much in the overall play of the game. And India changed the position of Rahul Beke, who moved into centre back, and Subhashis Bose came into the left back. I think that gave India a bit of more energy in midfield, especially because Thapa came on, and Thapa, I think, as I'm a big fan of Amit Thapa, being a number 6 and number 8, the kind of energy and effort Thapa put in that midfield, I am not sure any of Indian midfielder has that ability to go up and down. And we've seen that when Sunil Chetri took the shot, and I think Kiran Lambu fingertips ball went to the bar. He was the first player to react from both the
Yeah.
side, and he's a defensive midfielder or a center midfield from Indian side. And that shown the importance of Thapa. And Thapa is not a young player anymore. Thapa is playing for Indian team for 4 years, and now he's out of the fold. He's not in the playing 11. I'm surprised with the Igor Stimac choice, but ultimately he brought him in, and he made instant impact, by scoring that goal for India. Did Nepal change anything during the halftime, or it just India's positional or personal changes made the impact for them in the second half?
Yeah, I think it's more on India than in Nepal. I mean, let's be honest. In the first half, n neither of the midfields, like neither side in the midfield were really good enough. Balls were being lost in the midfield. None of the side, like, was going and holding the ball that too well. Brendan was getting outnumbered, and in Nepal side as well, they're not able to control the ball. And the goal was definitely like I didn't see that coming, and there was not a solid build-up. But what India did particularly well, and as you mentioned, I think Anirudh Thapa's substitution really changed the game in that regards, because he was the one who does like just ignore his creative abilities. He's also a very relentless pressure, and he drew two midfielders towards him, and that's what Brendan Fernandes was not able to do in the first half. He was getting outnumbered, and we know for a fact that Brendan Fernandes excels in the number 10 position, and he is that kind of a player. But you know, Thapa is that player which like draws the midfield and frees other players around him, and
I,
is like
Thapa sets
very
the tempo.
energetic.
I think that's the right word.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
controlled the midfield, and then Thapa is natural number 8 and number 6. That's his position. And when Thapa scored, that gave me the vibe of that 2015 SAP Championship Under 16 final when he scored in this same stadium against Nepal when India won that tournament 1-0. And I think that shows the importance of Andre Thapa. And I think many people were already in the chat also saying about same. There's some Nepali people are joining in, says Kiran, they're saying Nepal missed Rohit Chand. Have you seen anything from this current Nepali team that they can live without Rohit Chand in future?
Uh, Ideally, that's not a very good thing to imagine, but the player who played in his position today was Dinesh Rajbangshi, and if you got to notice him, he was pretty instrumental in nullifying Manveer Singh from the right hand side. He made those kind of interceptions, and he didn't let Manveer Singh settle into uh, or cut inside the D box area. And I've always been an advocate about playing Manveer Singh in the striker's position and rather than a right winger. But this time around, he clearly nullified the threat. So ideally, I would have Rohit Chand on the side. He would have made things better. He would have had more progressive passes directly into the final third. But today, we didn't kind of miss him in the defensive regards. And I have a question for you. Like, today we know Anirudh Thapa. Let's just explain Anirudh Thapa to our Nepalese viewers that have tuned in today.
Uh, uh, I'm watching him from under 14, and I will say, this is no comparison with Kante. I'm not saying that he's a Kante or something. I think he has that energy or that engine inside him, and of course, he can contribute more in the attack. I think which none of India's holding midfielder and center midfielder has. He has that energy. I saw that Andrew Thapa was doing the game. I think one phase in the end, he was in the Nepali box. Nepal took the counter attack, and if you see, Apuya was alone in the midfield, and then he
Yeah.
has a four defender. He ran back 40 to 50 yards and got that tackle in and get the ball back to the get position back for India. I think that's all about Anil Thapa. It's no comparison with Kante or something, but to tell people that what kind of player he is. And now if you see with Kante might not have uh, offensively have involved as much as Andrew Thapa do. He has scored goals for India, has provided assists for India, and I think his set pieces were also good when he came in. I'm a big fan of him because the reason I'm watching from under 14 and his playing style has not changed. He was just like this during his under 14 days. He was just like this during under 18 days, and he's just playing at a similar level, same type of football. Of course, he progressed he developed as a player, but his playing style remains same, and which is very unique in especially in South Asia, if you ask me,
Yeah.
we always had a good defensive midfielder, Purna Haldar, Rohit Chan, then there are, if you go back to the time of Renedy Singh and Climax Lawrence, they were always have been good midfielder. But I think with Thapa, it came something like who can contribute the goal also. And, I think it's a kind of a mix of number 6 and number 8, hybrid number 8 nowadays, you can say, who can play all two midfield position, and that's under Thapa for India. And I think it's not just today he has done this. He has scored goal for India in Asia Cup, and he controlled that midfield during those Asia Cup games. Whenever he played, I think
Mhm.
one mistake which Stephen Constantine did in Asia Cup was when India had that key match against India versus Bahrain game. I think he dropped Thapa for Prannoy, if I remember correctly. And Thapa did very well against Thailand, and there was. Of course, India need just draw. India just need draw to qualify for the next round. And I think dropping Thapa in that game, I think backfired, and India lost that game against Bahrain, if I remember correctly. And I think that's what Andu Thapa for India. I think he need to be part of Igor Stimac playing 11. If Igor Stimac need to do well, you can't have two defensive midfielder there, especially against teams like Nepal. There is no disrespect. We are not playing Japan and South Korea and the big team of Asia. Then maybe you can have two holders. But especially you're playing the team who are at your level or just below you. I think you need to make sure that Ando Thapa is there in the playing 11. It's very important for India to have a player like him because he has that ability to progress with the ball. And I think that's shown throughout the second half. He was making those
Yeah.
runs. He was also joining the attack. I think which we have not seen Suresh, Glenn, or Apuya in last few matches whenever they play to join the attack. They have their own qualities. I think Thapa has his own qualities. I think, and also one more thing which people are also highlighting on the chat is that Manveer Singh was struggling in the first half. I think when he was playing as a right wing, I think he did well in the second half when he moved to the center position. Sudesh.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've watched Manveer Singh play quite a few times, and he's always excelled at the center forward position. And especially when you're playing against a side like Nepal, where you don't have tall central midfielders or defensive midfielders or tall center backs, you got to have a person like Manveer Singh who is very incisive, who can easily get those aerial balls and then take it under control or allow someone else to score. So I think he excelled under the center forward position. And yeah, that's the paradox, basically. When you play Sunil Chetri, you need to kind of make that compromise in the Indian squad, and I think Igor Stimac is yet to find that combination between these two.
Uh,
Combination as in who
yeah,
to
I
play
think
where kind of step. Yeah.
one of the users saying that Rene Singh was. I'm not saying Rene Singh was defensive midfielder. I'm saying the midfielder India produced in past. Rene Singh, Lawrence, these kind of midfielders, Mehta Hussain, in last 10 years or 10, 15 years, I think they did well as a midfielder, but they didn't contributed with the goals and assists as we have seen Thapa doing in the last 3, 4 years, and he scored at the highest level, especially considering the time of Randy Singh used to play on that left wing sometimes center midfield. So I'm not saying that Randy Singh was not as threatening as Thapa, but I'm just saying Thapa is different. If see current Indian midfielder also, Glenn Martin, Suresh, that doesn't contribute much on the goals and assists. Thapa has done that for his club, for his country, and not just at a senior level throughout his career since I'm watching it from under 14 days. That's my point is you need that one of the goal scoring option in the midfield, because then the opponent team just can't man mark your goal scorer, because then you have, like, just in the second half, Thapa Poppet came somewhere from midfield and scored the goal because he has that ability to score the goals. That's my only point here. I'm not comparing the Thapa with Kante or Thapa with our previous player from Indian senior team. That's the only point. Another thing which in the second half, I think India made Apuya also came. I think Apuya came, he did okay, but sometimes he lost control of the ball also. I think is it just with the pitch also? The pitch was the new, I think, with the Sana back pass also. I think his foot also got struck there. Is it just the pitch, or it just India was not able to control the football properly?
I think it goes both ways. We could definitely see India, like Nepal, making India uncomfortable in the first half with their pressing and everything. And the pitch was horrible, let's be honest. We were seeing patches getting off in the very first 2 or 3 minutes, and then Kathmandu has had like rainfall for 2 or 3 days, as I've been informed. So it was not a very good pitch to play on as per like international standards. And also, India were also pretty uncomfortable in that position. And playing those kind of passes in these kind of pitches are not that favorable for a ball playing side, in especially.
Yeah, so let me take a few questions from people, before we move to the player ratings. I have made my rating ready, and I'm going to be very harsh on the few of the players, but that's maybe because of the tactics. Maybe I'm frustrated with the result. Uh, you know, so Tridev says Rahim Ali is a number 9, but Stimac is playing him as a winger. What rubbish! I think that's what I say. Rahim Ali came at halftime. I'm not sure how many touches Rahim Ali did in the full game. I think sometimes he was there as a right wing back, sometimes he's there in the midfield, sometimes there. I think when you, and this I have seen, with the coaches, with the great coaches. I've read some books also, and they always said when you involve a young player in your team, it's a club level, international level, young players should have a fixed role. They should know that they're left winger or right winger or a center forward. They should have a fixed role, and their role should be limited, and their tasks should be limited. I think this is something what's missing when Rahim Ali came, I think. And something with Sahel also. Sahel was also getting outnumbered in the midfield. Maybe it's with the tactics, maybe Nepali players with the more energy. As I said, it's just a friendly for India. it's a war for Nepali players and Nepali fans, I think, and they were more aggressive in midfield, and I think Sahel also not able to control the ball, the midfield well when he came on, after during the first half, during the later part of the, I think it came at the halftime only, because there was confusion going on around everybody, because broadcaster did not show the all subs. AFF tweeted that just Rahim and Thapa has came on, but actually India made four sub at the halftime, and then they made two more subs later on after the goal. When Suresh and Sunil came out for Apuya and Bipin. So that's my thought. There's a question from Udit saying Nepal goalkeeper Kiran Chamang should have got red card when he handled the ball outside the box. Your thoughts on that?
Okay, he got an yellow, and I think there was a contact from there was a contact between the ball and the hand, and unfortunately I didn't see what exactly happened because of the broadcasting that was being done. Like the camera angles was not evident enough, but if he handled the ball, and which in this case seems to be the case, I think he should have gotten a red card. I don't know what situation was it, and why was he booked yellow if he had handled the ball outside the box. Did you see anything like activity?
Very honestly, I was so disappointing with the performance and all. I have forget to keep a check of what Nepali players are doing. I was just keeping the focus on the Indian players, because I'm not sure. I've seen this because sometime at my feed, which I was watching, it was getting struck, and we've seen that.
Yeah,
I think it in the first half it got blank for 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I think. I'm not sure what happened there. So the feed and overall camera angle was not that good at the feed I
yeah.
was checking. So I might need to rewatch the game. So I'm not sure about it. Nayan says इस कोच के पास कोई प्लान और स्टैट्स खाली हवा में बातें करता है. Because yeah, Igor Stimac said in this pre-match press conference that he has analyzed the Nepali team, and and I'm not sure what he is analyzing that, because it was Nepal was dominating India. India was not dominating Nepal. Nivdesh Das said, can you something about midfield and forwards not tracking back for better position? Is it because they were tired? I'm not sure they were tired. Maybe I'm so again. It's depend on the coach that what coach has tell the player to fall back when there is no position, when they lost the position, because you've seen Thapa running back and winning that position. So maybe they are, but how can they be tired? This is the first game of the season. Maybe fitness is not there yet, but then again, this is first game for Nepal also. It's not that they coming during the season. I think it is lazy to say the player were tired. If they were, I think maybe India need to try more players. Nepal is not a good team, but in this match Nepal players very good performance, says Nikhil. I'm not sure. Nepal is not a good team point, because Nepal, uh, I've seen them, this country, very closely. Their fans, the team. I think they have huge passion for football. I think maybe more than some part of India. And the only reason is the infrastructure. They don't have a proper league. The team doesn't play regularly. Is might be the reason they are so down on the FIFA ranking. I think if they get the what kind of investment India is getting in football, if they get the one third of that investment, I think Nepal will do far better what they are right now. I think that's the only reason, because the passion for football in Nepal is huge. I think it can compare to the one of the highest one of the reason in India was the highest passion for football. I think you can't say they are not a good team. It's just the FIFA ranking so down, and I think India still has to thank Stephen Constantine for that FIFA ranking that we are here. Uh, Ashish, bro, your preferred lineup and formation for India? I think my preferred lineup I gave in the preview. I would have got with Saritan Fernandez uh, as a right back. Maybe Pritam Kotal and Sana as my center back, and Akash Mishra as my left back. And in midfield, I will go with Apuya and Thapa, with Brandon as the number 10. 10, Manveer as a center forward, Sunil on the left, on a Liston on a right. I think that's my preferred lineup, and that's 4-2-3-1 is my preferred formation with the team, because that's the team, that's the way he has selected the team. Don't you think Stimac doesn't know anything about Indian football? I can't say that. I think that will be very harsh to say, because that's the only job he has. He has to look after Indian football and watch Indian football. Again, India has played bad, and there is another person who's bringing the person of Indian origin players. I think that's not going to happen. That's a law and constitution of India. I think so. We should not engage ourselves with that conversation. Uh, uh, can anyone tell me India's why India opponent played better than India irrespective of their ranks? And this is to Sudesh. Nepal is ranked, I think, 180 or 186. I'm not sure the current ranking. India's rank in the 102 or 3. I think India's in top 110, 110 countries. Is it FIFA ranking a myth or something? Because Belgium has been there as a number one for a very long. They have not won any major tournament in last 3 4 years, and we know that FIFA ranking can be
Yeah.
manipulated by doing proper calculation by playing smart friendlies. So should we take FIFA friendly ranking very seriously, or it's just that we have to take team on their performance on the day when the match is going on?
I think it's a metric that does not matter when you hit the pitch, you know. At one point of time, we genuinely thought India was going to take over the whole South Asia when ISL was launched, and during the time Stephen Constantine was in India, like 2017-ish, because they were grinding out results and they were playing impressive draws and stuff and playing big teams. But as of now, I think every team in the region is comparable to each other in terms of performance. We saw the performance, although India possesses really good individual qualities. Today, we saw the teams kind of balance each other out. So I don't think FIFA ranking matters in this case, like in a heavy manner. Because what we saw on the pitch today, Nepal were equally as competitive as the Indian team, and even if they had converted chances and the final third was not as blunt, I think Nepal could have just escaped with a win today.
I think yes. I think Nepal. What I've seen Nepal, I think the center forward still need to do well. I think Anjan was looking good, lively throughout the game. It just the overall connection between him and the center forward was not there. I think that's why they struggled, because I think there were a couple of chances. The communication was not there. Who need to press the ball and who need to go the after the loose ball. I think that's the only weak point I've seen. I think Rohit Chand coming back into this team during SAF Championship, I think will make Nepal better team for sure. Now moving into the player ratings, let do in a way that
Yeah,
position wise.
I'll yeah,
Yeah,
I'll ask you a question. Like as an Indian fan, like this is a very changed side from what you saw the last time around. There were players that were very senior, as you mentioned, like as you always like to mention, Anil Gurung and likes of those players. But this time around, who did you find as the standout player?
I think Anjan was fantastic. I think, and I think Kiran Chamang also did good. I was talking to one of my friend in Norway. He has an interest in South Asian football. He's a football agent, and he called me during the game, just to discuss that what Indian players are doing. And he was telling me the Nepali goalkeeper looked confident, compared to other Nepali players. I think that's I think that's because he had exposure to the better leagues. He played in
Yeah,
India, and I think that's helped sometimes, because many of these Nepali players might be playing a game of this intensity. They might have played against Kuwait and Australia and this kind of game. But when you play against India, and especially this is one of the game for Nepal and Nepali fans, I think Kiran Chamang, with his experience, he was looking very confident. But I'm impressed with Anjan. I have seen him. Seen I think 2016 I saw him first time. He played against India at the youth level, and I think Bimal Gati Magar might have taken all the highlights during those years. But I think with overall personal tragedy and injuries in Bimal Gati Magar career, I think Anjan has come good. I think he's a similar batch of Thapa, if I remember correctly. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah. So they played against each other a lot. I think under 16, under 19. So I think Anjan impressed me most. I think Kiran was looking good. Other than that, I think it was decent, and I think this Nepali team is better than what we have saw in 2017, 2018, and 2015. I'm sure. I think not better than the 2013 Nepali team, which defeated India. But I think that Nepali team was at the peak of their powers, because you have some like Anil Gurung and these kind of players playing, at that level, and that time Rohit Chand was also on the peak of his career. So I think this Nepali team might do better. Maybe not this SAF championship, maybe in the next SAF championship for me.
Yeah, now let's move on to the play ratings and
Yeah, yeah.
starting from
So
the Indian.
yeah, just give me 1 second. I think it should be the. Are you disconnected? Okay, it's fine. Yeah, moving to the player rating, I will take a position wise. I will tell India's player rating in goalkeeper and defense first. Then you take Nepal defender and the goalkeeper, and then we move ahead according to the positions. So talking about India's goalkeeper, I think. Uh, Gurpreet, I think, did well with some saves, but I think the goal, of course, Sana committed mistake, but the ball, the pace was not enough. I'm not sure would Gurpreet have done better with the that back pass, and I'm not. I think I will give Gurpreet a 5.5 for me. I think he was decent with other saves and everything. I think, of course, he was involved in the goal India conceded, but I'm not sure that he was the reason behind that goal, because Sana not able to put any power in that back pass, which he provided to Gurpreet, and I think it was all for Anjan to score that goal. That's for me. Rahul Beke, I think he was very bad when he's playing at the right back. I think he played better when he moved to the centre back position. Maybe that's his position now, because he is not your right back anymore. That's why I'm saying again and again. I will say again. I think he looked better in the second half. First half, he was looking very bad, out of position again. Doesn't know when to overlap, doesn't know when to defend. I think, and that's the issue when you play in the multiple position in defend. You are a center back, you're a right back. Sometimes that confusion, you forget to play that when need to overlap, when need to underlap. So I will give Rahul Beke a 4.5. Sana, I think, uh, uh, I know he's unlucky maybe with the pitch, and he's not able to put the power there. But I think that's a horrible mistake, if you ask me. And I will give Sana a similar 4.5 rating. Akash Mishra, I think here's some question mark on Akash Mishra positioning, especially. I think first half he was sometime going ahead of Liston. Maybe is it tactics, or maybe it Igor Stima asked him to, go ahead so the Liston can come inside and tuck in alongside Sunil Chetri. I think he was nullified by Nepalese right back very easily whenever he went ahead, and I didn't saw him contributing much in that defensive third for India whenever needed, because Nepal was dominating India. I think I will give Akash Mishra 4.5. I gave him 5, but I'm just changing my rating because now I'm thinking again, revising the game. And now you tell me about the Nepalese goalkeeper and Nepalese defender rating.
Yeah, so let's start with Kiran Limbu. He was quite good, but not as involved, and the howler that he made and that nearly resulted in a goal for India. I would give him a 7 today because I've seen him pull off better performances and seen him do better in national team games, and he's been like one pillar for Nepal. So I'm giving him 7 today. So let's start with the defenders today. Let's go to Suman Aryal, who was a fullback, and he did kind of really well, did some underlapping runs, but what he specializes in are those overlapping runs, which didn't really happen today because the battles were being lost in the midfield, and Nepalese players didn't get to go that forward. So I would give Suman a 5 today. And then two center backs, Ananta Tamang and Dinesh Rajbangshi. I would start with Ananta Tamang. He made some blunders in the first half. He kind of took some time to settle in, but when he settled in, he kind of dealt with the threats relatively easily. So I would give him, on the basis of today's performance, a 6.5. And then we look at Dinesh Rajbangshi, who was filling the boots of Rohit Chand today, and he was really, really well. He did really, really well. Whether he was in possession or whether it was nullifying Manveer Singh from the right, he was very involved in today's game, and he was intercepting the balls. He was making those last man tackles. So I would give him a solid 7.5 because I didn't expect that from him. And then let's move forward to Gautam Shrestha, who was not that involved. He was just involved in the build up, going, forming that kind of a very wide build up scheme for Nepal. So I would also give him, like, both the fullbacks would be somewhere around a 6 for me. So that's my rating. And the standout would be Dinesh Rajbangshi from the goalkeeping and the defending area.
Yeah, so just before we move ahead, of course, Oman has beat Japan. By the way, that's a shocking result. I think one of the you can say the historic
Yeah.
result in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers from Asia, because that will change everything in the qualification, and we'll talk about that in the later part. Let me take some comments and some ratings from the chat. Arjun says, I think Arjun Pandey, I'm sure he's from Nepal. India and Indian fans took Nepal so easy, but they forget Nepal is underdogs. Our infrastructure is so good, so good as India. that doesn't mean we are weak. Don't forget last time India win, Nepal win, defeated with 2. No, I'm confused with this comment. But let me take some rating. Teddy Bear says Gurpreet 4. Yash Bhatt said Gurpreet 5. I think that's a similar 4.55. I think it was similar. Levi says BK 4. Uh, I will come on Apuya later on when I move to the midfield. Some say Sana 4. Levi says Sana 6. I will just come and say take more. Yes says Sana 3. Uh, 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 can I have more ratings? And people just can share their rating with us right now. So I will take some rating from comment section before moving ahead. Shubhasi's was just horrible, terrible performance from him. I will give my opinion on Pujan performance. I think Sudesh will give Binay. Ask from Nepal opinion on Pujan performance. What your opinion on Sudesh before other people send their rating for the defenders and the goalkeepers?
Oh yeah, Puzan Upperkoti has. Okay, let's set this up with the context. Previously, Rohit Chand was Nepal's defensive midfielder, and when Abdullah Al Mutairi started him in the defense as a centre back, Puzan Upperkoti was the one with who he chose to be in the midfield and in the defensive midfield position. So he slots in between the defenders really well, and today also he did that job fairly well. And he was intercepting the balls from the middle, and it was him who was dispossessing, whether it was Suresh Singh or Sunil Chetri. He was dispossessing both of those guys. So it was a pretty impressive performance from Uparkoti today, and he has been really impressive in the 5 matches that he's played under Abdullah Al Matairi. So fairly enough for a defensive midfielder. Today he was really solid.
Yeah, and of course we'll move to the subs also later on the game. I got Stimac rating. We try to give him rating also. Somebody says Thapa 10, Manveer 9, which is surprising. Somebody says Stimac minus 100, Rahim Ali 8 says Manoj, Rahim Ali 0 said AK Charan. So we have different people rating on a different way. There is some people, I would say the Nepali fans, Shubhasis. Yeah, now coming to the midfield, I think let me take Indian midfielders. Then you can take the Nepali midfielders. So talk about India midfield. I think India started with Suresh and Glenn Martins. I think I will give Glenn Martins the 4.5, and my standard has been 4.5 in this stream. I'm not sure, but that's I've written for Glenn Martins. I think he tried, but again, I think it's not with the player issues. I think it's a more of the tactics and the selection because Glenn Martin and Suresh are very limited when they're on a ball as compared to say Thapa, Apuya, or even Sahel, or maybe Mohammad Yasir also. So I will give Glenn Martin's 4.5, Suresh a 5. I think he tried to play some verticals ball, some successful ball he played on a Sunil Chetri foot that didn't came on. I think I will give Brendan also a 5. I think Brendan played some good ball, but I think he was got outnumbered and got dominated by Nepali players in between, and he was dropping a too deep. So 4.5 for Gran Martin, Suresh for 5, Brendan for 5 again. That's an Indian midfielder for me. Sudesh, you carry on a Nepali midfielder, and I will take the after you finish. I will take people ratings for the Indian midfielders for Nepali midfielder from chat also.
Yeah. So so let's start with Tej Tamang. So if Indian fans might have noticed, Tej Tamang was the one who was giving Brendan Fernandes hard time today in the midfield. He was intercepting the balls, he was going forward, he was pressing uh, with intensity, and that qualifies him from a 6.5 from my side. And Puzan Upperkoti, as I've already mentioned, my thoughts about him, it was a very solid defensive midfielder performance. There were no howlers, and uh, I mean, the Nepali midfield didn't allow India to progress from the middle. So that would earn him a solid 7 rating from my side. And then let's come to Suman Lama, who was kind of on and off during the game, and we saw him in fair bit of times, but uh, he was in a kind of supporting role, winning the second balls or supporting Tej Tamang in dispossessing Brendan Fernandes, or in the second half, he was majorly involved in kind of nullifying that Indian intensity. So I would give him a 6.5. So that's my midfield rating, and Puzon Upperkoti is the one that stands out from today's performance.
Yeah, now just coming into the chat, I think lots of people are already given. Sakib says Sahel 8. We'll move towards subs also. Teddy says Glenn 5. Levy says Glenn same 4.5. Banjo said Glenn 5. Somebody Levy says Brandon 5.5. Uh, Then, of course, we'll come to the subs very soon. We'll come to Liston also, which is Banjan says 5. Kapil says Tej Tamang 7. And I know Kapil I think from Kapil knows me from last 7 years. And we have been fighting for these SAF and Asian groups when I was very young at my college. And good to see you, Kapil Bhai, on a live streaming. Great that you join us. So Kapil gives Tej Tamang a 7. Naseem says Sahel 5. Naseem also says Thapa 7. Chetri, I will come to Chetri's and forward rating. Naseem says Apuya and all these are subs. I will come to these. Manvir was poor. Tej Tamang says 8. Ayo Gurkhali. And Ayo Gurkhali again says Pujan 7. So I think similar kind of rating which you're giving to the Nepali players and similar kind of rating which I'm giving to the Indian players from both set of the fans. I
Yeah,
think one.
but here's a rating. But here's a rating that's very interesting. Stimac 100. That's a rating that we
It's
should
not
be looking
100, it's
for.
minus 100 by the way. This rating is 100, so minus 100. Uh, Velso says, I don't know why India always wants socks like these, waiting for the day that they will play consistent good football. I will give a Thapa high rating for his lethal mindset and uplifting the team. I think Thapa did well. We'll come to the subs very soon. Now moving to the forward players of the India, I think we'll start with Manveer Singh. I give Manveer Singh 5. I think I gave him 5.5. I've revised it to 5. I think I've just to overall his performance in the first half and second half, it's just 5. Sunil Chetri 5.5 maybe. I think India didn't get Chetri involved a lot. Maybe, and that was shot which is took for Thapa goal was fantastic by the way. And Liston Colasso, I believe 4.5. I think disappointing. I'm a big fan of Liston, but I think again is not able to influence the game he should have. Maybe again, and I was confused that why Akash Mishra was going ahead of him. I think because Liston is the player you want opponent fullback to be one-on-one, not your left back. So I'm not sure of that tactics part. Is it tactics? Is it the players made the choice? But I think I will give Liston 4.5. Now, can you take over the Nepalese forward?
Yeah, so let's start with the star man from Nepal, Anjan Bista. I would give him a solid 7.5 because of the performance that he put on today. He was equally as instrumental as he has always been, although he scored a goal. And besides that, there was no yield, but he was, if you look at it, he was involved in every bit of overlaps that Nepal tried to do. And he was involved in the off the ball movements fairly well. So I would give him a 7.5. And then when we come to Novi Shrestha, I think being a center forward, he was kind of nowhere to be seen today. And he had like a bits and pieces and was on the ball, off the ball. And I would give him a 5.5 because I expected more of him. And especially considering he's playing with two wingers who would supply him the ball, I don't think he was that good. And he was pretty much nullified by Sana throughout the match. And then we come to Ayush Kalan, who's a teenager and who's fairly new to the side. He started the game really well. He was putting those balls in the first 15 minutes, and then he had a pretty good game. He had his passes cut off, but like he was a constant threat. He did like 2 or 3 step overs and stuff like that. So I would give him a solid 6.5 for his performance. And I'm telling you this. We mentioned this in our pre-match stream as well. He's the one to look out for, and he's there for a reason. The coach has picked him for a reason. So in my forward line, it's Anjan Bista who stands out.
So let me make some rating and comments. AK Charan says Glenn and Suri doesn't fit in the attacking intent of India. I think very good opinion and very good observation here. Shriyan Pandey gives Thapa 7.5. Pujan Binay gave Pujan a 7. Of course, now more and more Nepalese fan is joining in. Manoj give Liston 4. Teddy give Manveer 5. Manoj give Liston 4. Levy gives Liston 5.5. Ayush Garkhali give Ayush Galan 10. AK Charan says Liston was better than Rahim Ali, man of the match, which is very surprised. Manveer 2 made sure he won't create any chances, says AK Charan. Udit Pak gives Thapa 10. Teddy Bear gives Bista 8. This is coming from an Indian fan, by the way. Liston 4 says Manoj over dribbling and losing the ball. Liston 2, and again, Liston likes to take player on, and I'm not surprised that he's trying to dribble every time get the opportunity. But that's his
Yeah,
game is all about taking all the people with his pace and dribble ability and then
yeah.
score the goal.
He's
Why?
there for
Because
that very reason, right? He's there
yeah,
for that very reason.
and I think you don't have any similar. Just like Thapa, I don't have a Liston like player in that whole team who loves to take people on, and you need to utilize it. Is his skill on the way that India get benefited from it. Why Vidyasagar was not given chance? He's about 23, still no call up, and that coach need to answer. I'm also surprised that India is lacking these goal scorer. Vidyasagar should be there in the squad at least. Manoj gave a list in four. Now we come towards the subs. I think where my rating is a bit better. Some might feel that I have been very harsh on the Indian players, but I think that's the actual scene of the game, and it's nothing on the harsh on Indian fan. I think coming into this match, India was coming as a favorite. The commentator said that, and he was also getting emotional, during the game, that India was favorite. Everybody was not giving Nepal a chance. I was giving a Nepal a chance. I said that Nepalis take this match as a war and they will come all out, and they had that energy, and their energy level was better than India. And who gave the India energy? Andut Thapa coming from the bench, who played in these kind of matches before in Nepal. I think I will give Andut Thapa 7. I think he done it's the highest for me from Indian side. But India, that's a draw, so I gave him a 7. Some have given him 10, 9, but I think 7. The reason for 7 is that I think after scoring the goal, he sometime left that midfield, and left somebody like Apuya alone in that midfield. I think he need to make sure that India doesn't concede the second goal. I know he was trying to contribute on the attacking side, but as a senior player now, he need to take a balanced call, and I think a couple of times Nepal did counter attack when India was very thin on the midfield. Apuya was the all alone. So that was 7. If not that, I would have given him an 8 for sure. Rahim Ali, I have given a 5. I think standard 5. Seriton Fernandez, 5.5, far better than the Rahul Beke when he came in that right back role. Of course, it took time also to people to know that Seriton Fernandez is playing, because commentator was saying it's a Benny Fernandez. I would thought Lenny is not part of the team. So I think I'll give Seriton Fernandez 5.5. Sel, I will give 5. I think he tried well. Dribble kind of tried to control in midfield, but again, it's overall tactics that he was not getting fit in that midfield. Apuya, I will give 5 again. I think he was decent, and Vipin standard 5 for me as a substitute. Now, did how many sub Nepal made, and what your rating for them?
Yeah, so Nepal on the first go subbed in three players in the 65th minute mark. And I mentioned this player quite a lot during our pre-match stream. Manish Tangi came on for Navik Shrestha. And as I mentioned, Navik Shrestha was nowhere to be seen in the first half. And Manish Tangi, after coming in, was quite pressing well, and then he was getting on the ball, and that's what he does. So for me, Manish Tangi would be a 6. And then Sunil Ball came in for the teenager Ayush Kalan. Sunil Ball, as always, made runs and tried to take on the dribbles, but there was kind of the end product was lacking. So I would give him a 5.5. And then Bishal Rai came in for Suman Lama in the half-hour mark. Bishal Rai did pretty well. He was on and off like Suman Lama. He kind of took on a stripped back role. So it would be a 5.5 for me for Bishal Rai too. Then on the 73rd minute, Surajit Thakiri came in for Anjan Bista, which was a kind of a laid back change. So Surajit Thakiri, he did not have any significant impact on the game. So it was a 5 for me. Then on the 85th minute, there were 2 subs coming in, but I would not rate them because 85th minute is like too later for them to have like basis to compare them.
Yeah, so now we have both set of fans, so both set of rating is coming in the comment section. I will try to take some. Manoj give a list and a 4. Teddy give Manveer a 5. Igor Stimac -10 says Mangal. Uh, uh, Again, Levy give a Manveer 5. Teddy give Liston 5. AK Charan give Liston 2. Teddy give Bista 8. I've taken this. Udit back give Thapa 10. Ayush Galan was impressive too, and he's just 17, says Au Gurkhali. Sunil was slowly coming into the form in the second half. The moment Stimac realized, he subbed him off. So I don't know, is Nashim from Nepal or from India that he put in a heart symbol end of that. Levy give him Liston a 5.5. Ayush Galan, I think Nepalese fans love Ayush Galan performance. I think they think that they have find a successor for Rohit Chand. I think the kind of rating I have seen for Ayush Galan here, it's a 10, says Agur Khali. AK Charan says Lister was better than Rahim Ali. That's if taken. Uh, um, okay, somebody says I'm watching for Pokhara, Nepal. I don't mind if Liston dribbles and lose the ball. At least he's trying something. That's totally right. Chetri has soft corner for Nepal, says Rancho Roshan. And I have taken this in a preview. I will take it again. Nepal is the second I think third country against Sunil Chhetri has scored most goals, which is 5. He scored 6 goals against Maldives and 6 goals against Chinese Taipei. So it's not a soft corner. He would have scored today if there was not the bar which he shot hit on. So it's not. It's an old debate again, but I'm just settling it down. Manveer gave a header to Chetri and took a shot and ran for 90 minutes. So 7 says Udit Bag. I think you can give him rating for his effort. I think Manveer always give his 100%. Nepal played with sprint. That's all I can say above any sprint. Okay. Velo says Nepal played with sprint. That's all I can say above any rating. Says sprint. Ragit says even my local team has a good tactics than Igor Stimac. I think everybody is going very aggressive on Igor Stimac. Ashish, I think from Nepal says Sudesh, please rate Ayush. I will take his views on Ayush because many Nepalese fans have liked his performance. Apuya says 4.5, says Banjob. Reji says anything about last foreigner of Kerala last I think wrong video. We will discuss about foreigners and ISL on Friday inside Indian Football Show. Don't worry about that. Manish Dangi 5 said somebody. Rahim says Siva says Rahim 4. Rancho gave Ayush Gelan 7. Banjob gave Bapin 4.5. I think that's a kind of a similar rating. Sir, how was Sahel? I think Shell tried his best when he came on. But again, the kind of tactics and formation India was employing, I think India not getting best out of Sahel and Brendan especially. But Sahel, I gave him a 5 or 5.5. I will say Sahel. He tried, but again, he's getting outnumbered by Nepali players. But I think Nepalese midfielder had that energy, and I think the reason is the Ayush Galan, maybe Sudesh. Everybody from Nepal seems like loved the Ayush Galan performance. Biplav Thapa says Kiran Chamang 8. He deserved to play in ISL, but again, surprising, it's just a 4 foreigners. I'm not sure any ISL team will take a foreign goalkeeper, considering India have so many goalkeepers already in India. Gelan is probably from futsal circuit, I think, says Kapil. And then Kapil is from Nepal, and he has been watching Nepali football for very long as I'm watching Indian football. Uh, Ashish Bhai, can we accept anything more from our team? Our team played very bad since last 3 years. I think we have to support the team. We can't stop supporting that. Agos Timac is India coach. He has got a new contract, so he's not going anywhere. We have to make sure that he's uh, on his foot, on always giving best player chances, watching league football. I think there is no way to go back now. He's the man who will lead India in the qualifiers, and which is coming very soon. And I think he has some matches in SAF Championship to decide his best 11. What do you think about the next game? I will come to the next game. Why Changte is not selected, says Manikandan Gokal. I think he's dropped. That's the only reason. We'll come into the next game. I will take one question on one comment from Sudesh on Ayush Gailan. Sudesh, what do you think about Gailan? Is it that street type midfielder who had played futsal and that cage type footballer who all just like Sancho for United? He played lots of cage or street football. And now he's taking that to the top level. Is Ayush Gailan a similar type of footballer who is a street footballer?
So he played from the wings today, and if you notice his gameplay, he likes to keep the ball very close to his feet, and I think that's an influence that he has gotten from futsal. And futsal back in Nepal is a very big sport, and it is
Sudesh, you free? So Shudesh have just freeze down, so we'll just wait for him to come back. So yeah, he was discussing about Ayush Bailan and that he was playing on the wing, and that of course he came from futsal setup. I think which is very similar for some like Sahel also from India. I think he was playing in UAE in many of these leagues and then came to Kerala. I think you always get these footballers, from these kind of setup. Talking about my rating for Igor Stimac, I will give him 2 out of 10. Not two, maybe three, 4 out of 10. Maybe for second half he tried to change the game. He saw the what kind of mistake India was doing, at the halftime and brought the change. So I will give him 4 out of 10. Not minus 100, not minus 50, which people are giving. So that's for Igor Stimac. I'm impressed with Nepali coach, by the way. I think he came up with the plan and he done well. I will give him 7 out of 10 for sure. I will take Sudesh rating of the Nepali coach once he join us back. When will Nepal Football League start? I have no idea. I think Nepal do need a football outside the valley. And I said this to my Nepalese friend back in 2015. Nepalese football, especially the league football, is all about the Kathmandu. I think there are more footballer outside the Kathmandu region for Nepal. I think a Nepal federation should take the football outside the valley for sure. Has any Nepali player played in ISL? I am not. They never played in ISL. I think they played lots of played in I League. Rohit Chand, Anil Gurung, Kiran Chamang. I think qualifiers. Bimal Karti Magar play I League qualifiers. So I think we have seen Nepali players in I League. I think we might see very soon, maybe in ISL, something like Anjan Bista. He was looking good today. Nepali coach 8 says Levy. As a coach, Stimac never instilled the confidence into the team. I think maybe it's coming from the comments, the kind of comments he's given in the press conference for sure. Yeah, tomorrow will be Inside Indian Football will be there for sure. Brendan should have played like Thapa or Apuya to support him, but Stimac has his own master plan. I have loved to see how Brendan do when he play alongside something like Apuya and Thapa, because the three midfielder who are technical, who can do well, and who like to keep the ball. Let me just check on the Sudesh. Is he coming back or not? Yeah, our team need confidence, build up therapy, says Anuj. Ronaldo will play for 80k more, Magan says goalpost. I am Nepali and was very happy when Igor Stimac substitute Sunil Chetri, because players like him could change game in couple of seconds. Biplav Thapa, I think he served him a bit early, but maybe it's a fitness, and maybe he want to preserve him for the second game, which is just after 3 days. India's playing again on the Sunday again Nepal, so that's the second match of the kind of two match series India playing against Nepal. So I think that's the reason. I will love to see Chetri playing from the left sided. I think where he played for India and Bangalore, I've seen last 3 4 years, and because that will put Manveer in the center position as a number nine. I think Manveer likes to play as a number nine. He can hustle for the ball, and that will give Chetri a bit more space to take his shoot from left. And we've seen what he do when he take those shots. And he just that for the India goal with the shot he took, the ball hit the uh, uh, ball hit the goalpost and came back for the Thapa to from rebound for Thapa to score. In the meantime, Sudesh is trying to join it again. If he can't, then we'll try to end this stream. Uh, Abdullah Al Mutari has done great for Nepal for so far. I like him, whatever seen him, and I've been chatting for Sudesh for very long. There is already lots of controversy. I think he resigned for twice on social media. So I think that's, if any coach who is passionate, he will always demand stuff from his federation. If he doesn't get from that his federation, I think he will always put pressure. And I think, but similar thing has done by Nepalese coach. When I think Sudesh was telling me that he resigned couple of time already, then came back. There is some differences between him and his federation. I think he's passionate about Nepali football. I think he wants to improve the Nepali football. And Sudesh has joined me back again. So Sudesh, you were telling me something about Ayush and is coming into the Nepalese senior team.
Yeah, so he likes to keep the ball, close to his body, and then he kind of manages to get in tight spaces and get out of them. And you saw the glimpse of that today in his gameplay. So you can definitely see an influence of how futsal has grown on him. So you can see the futsal scene in Nepal getting so big, and Aish Kalan is definitely a youngster to watch on, considering the abilities that he has groomed from playing futsal and street football.
Yeah. So let me take a couple of question. Goalpost is draw, draw, and draw. It's T-Mac always after draw and lose. Boys played well and blah blah. It's a mindset. Negi bhai says Velo. It's not that we don't have a quality. We are not short of any skill. But the problem is what whether or not we want to use it. I think that's a very important observation and opinion from him. I think it's not that Indian player doesn't have the skill. I'm not sure what is wrong with the with Indian team last couple of years, especially. Why doesn't Jerry Moya never get a chance in ISL? In Indian team, he has always performed in ISL, and that's a selection question mark always. And after every selection, when we do a top five player missed by Igor Stimac, we always put Jerry Moya as a number one player. He's been there for last 2 3 years. I'm not sure why he doesn't select him. Maybe he has a Brendan Khel in a similar kind of position, but you always need to have an option like Jerry. I think it will help to change the game like these. Why Manveer don't improve? I think he will improve. Don't worry about it. Don't you think ISL club winning don't give enough chance to central defenders and forwards? Maybe that's the reason India is lagging in this position. Of course, you can say that we don't have enough strikers and forward, but then ISL is giving chances to fullbacks, the midfielder. They should be doing the better. What if Udanta was in the squad? He have a good experience of playing against team like Nepal. I think Udanta, he has been out on form now. I think he should now go back to his basic and get his form back. Nepal and Bangladesh improving, but not us. Sudesh, I will take up what Nepal has done, and I asked you yesterday also. I'm going to ask you again. What Nepal has done different last couple of years compared to the previous regime to improve their national team and their football?
I would say nothing in terms of how the management has been and how the board has handled the situation. I think it's the managerial change that was made that has made a difference in Nepalese football in the recent months. Abdullah Al Mutairi was not a manager that was chosen by the governing body in Nepal, All Nepal Football Association. Rather, he was deployed to Nepal by Qatar Football Association. So he is one of those qualified coaches in Asian coaching scene. He has done his instructor license, pro license, and in a space of like 18 months, which is a very impressive figure, 18 or 12 months, which is a very impressive figure, let me tell you. So it's like the coach has come in and he has instilled the mentality, or he has instilled those kind of tactics. Indian fans might, kind of relate to this experience. All of the coaches that we have in South Asia either play a 4-4-2, emphasize on the long balls, play on set pieces and stuff like that. But Abdullah Al Mutairi, since his appointment, has been very vocal about playing possession-based football, which suits the physicality of Nepalese players and developing those technicalities in the players. So that's what has made the Nepalese side come this far in the past 4 or 5 months. But other than that, I don't think there has been any significant changes that have been done in the board or management-wise. Abdullah Al Mutairi has had to fight his way up, and he's in a contract for a year. And God knows where Nepalese football goes after that. I think it's back to where we started.
Just to add, are you saying that change of a coach, if has done everything for Nepal? And I'm not sure, what India can do at this stage, because we can't change the coach for sure. We don't have that option anymore because we have to make sure that we go with we have already made the choice with the IGOS team, and given him 1 year extension, and going with him in the Asia Cup qualifiers now, and which is very important target for India.
So I think basically what he did was made use of the resources that he had. Previously, we were bound to stick to a football that was kind of very self-depreciating in a sense, because we played on how other teams attacked against us. This time we're attacking other teams. I think he has just modified his resources and made those resources play as he wants to play, 4-4, 4-3-3, and with the mentality. I think that's what was lacking. Otherwise, in the basis of how robust the board is or how robust it has been handled on the back end or in the grassroots program, I don't think there has been any significant change that Nepal has made, and it has still a lot of ground to cover.
Kapil says futsal has more influence than federation. Puskar says, guys, don't forget Nepal Super League. I'm not the right person to talk about Nepal Super League, but says Golpo says Udanta last match against Mazia in the AFC Cup. We need like his form. I think Udanta has all the ability and talent, to come back and do well for India. I think he just needs confidence back so that he can perform at the similar level as he's doing in past. So I think we should give Udanta space, a chance to get his form back with his club. I think he will be back in the national team setup very soon. You told Anu Thapa scored against Nepal in 2013 semi. That's not correct. Jerry Jalanzola scored the stunner from outside the box. I'm not talking 2013. I'm talking about 2015 SAF Championship. We'll just Google also in between, because that's a remember Thapa scoring in Nepal final match. It was under 16 championship, and it was in 2015. I was not talking about 2013. If you remember, there was a full crowd. India versus Nepal, and Thapa scored in the final. I'm sure about that. I remember.
I think it was around 2013, as far as I remember. It was Jerry who scored the winner in the rain. Like the match was, yeah, I think it was Jerry who scored the
I
goal.
think it's
Like,
not.
it was Jerry or JJ, as far as I remember. Because in 2015, I remember the Bimal Gurti Magar's batch won against the Indian youth side in penalties.
Yeah, so let me check. I think I remember Thapa scoring that goal, in the final, and which was the year was that? Let me just check. Nepal. I think yeah, it was Jerry Lolansara. I think Thapa did it at the qualifiers of some level at Nepal. I remember him scoring. I think Jerry, yeah, person is right. I think Jerry scored that goal in the final, which I'm talking about. And Thapa and Jerry was all playing. So I think that's right. Right observation. Uh, Ashish bhai, who's your favorite Nepali footballer? I think I like Rohit Chand, but now I'm liking Anjan also. I'm watching him closely and talking to Sudesh also. I think I would like to watch him more and more. Maybe SAF Championship. We'll start watching him again and again. Uh, we need Susiraj and Jerry. I think Susiraj will come back, but he's still recovering from his form. I think India will send these under 23 side for SAP Championship on October. I'm not sure. I think they will send a mix of under 23 and senior team. Ayub Urkali says NSL is also helping. Manish Jhangi, Ayush Gailan, Pujan were all found through Nepal Super League. I think that Sudesh to agree or not, because I can't. I'm not sure of that. Steamac press conference. The turf was not good. Okay, we can say that turf was not good, but it was similar for the both the team. And I think I've just saw that his pressure got over, so I'm waiting for the quotes. Uh, India needs to play a cohesive unit for 3 match and 3 to 4 match, and don't change the playing 11. I think that what Igor Steamac has done. He has changed his playing 11 regularly, and we'll try to get a more quotes of Igor Steamac and the Nepali coach also. Uh, Let me take a couple of more questions. So, just for viewers, Sudesh have been following Nepali Super League, because what I know about Nepal League is that it was all about in Kathmandu back in 2013, 14, 15. Have the league now expanded to the other region, other valleys, not just Kathmandu?
No, so the Martyrs Memorial League, which is the national league in Nepal, or there's another national league, which is the premium league in Nepal, has not been regular yet. But I'll explain you what Nepal Super League is. If you remember, Indian Super League didn't start as a full-time league. It was just a 1 month kind of a concept that was pretty much similar to what IPL was in cricket, a franchise league. So Nepal Super League recently concluded, and it was franchise league, basically 10, no, basically sides who were brought by franchises, and then they played for like a month. It was a knockout tournament which began as a league and then went into a knockout. So it was just a 1 month league, and they plan to expand it. So it was a franchise league, which was kind of a premium, more for like advertisement, but it's still indeed, in a country where players don't get to play that much, the Nepal Super League did play a very good part. And in this context, it also makes sense because Abdullah Al Batari was in his initial days when Nepal Super League was being played in Nepal. So he didn't get to watch the league. He didn't get to watch the players outside of the Nepal Super League. So most of his selections so far have been through Nepal Super League, and that's why we're seeing that big of an influence. But if you need to create that kind of a very perennial source of talent, I think a national league or a year-long, season-long league is necessary. And Nepal Super League, in this case, a 1 month tournament where you just saw players. That's how the coach got his starting lineup as of right now. So it's basically ISL how it used to be in his first season.
I think ISL was never a 1 month league. I think it was a bit longer for sure. But then
Yeah.
ISL made it progress. It started becoming a proper league. Clubs
Yeah.
started doing proper throughout the year operation. So I think hopefully, because it's important for not just for India, for Nepal, but if our football needs to go up, our neighbors need to do also well. Then overall region do started doing well. We have seen in South America and North America. If there's a country who doing well, other countries started picking that sport. Similar, what we saw in the cricket also. When India started doing well in 1983 Cricket World Cup victory came, other South Asian countries like Sri Lanka, then Pakistan, and then Bangladesh, they started taking cricket more serious. Bangladesh started taking cricket more seriously. So I think we need our region need to go as a together. They need to improve the football together. Goalpost is Sudesh is from Nepal. Yes, Sudesh is from Nepal. He's working with Khel now from Qatar, basically for us, covering South Asian football, and whatever. Whenever Indian team go to the Qatar, he's there to cover those games. And he has been writing for us last now for few months now. He was there during the India versus Qatar game in this channel only. AFF doing correctly. We should compete with the Asian countries other than European countries, and India struggles when they compete against Asian countries. No disrespect to Nepal, but then you have to play countries like UAE, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. Of course, because it doesn't make sense to play Nepal in right now because we're playing them again in October. So this window could have been used to play better countries. But I understand COVID and all, but I'm looking now. SAF Championship is going to be very interesting. Sri Lanka has already started preparing the team. They're going outside the country for a camp. Nepal has been always preparing for SAF Championship. Bangladesh also started their preparation, and now with Indian players, I think they will go back to the clubs after coming back from these friendlies, and then go back to these a small camp before SAP Championship, because ISL club have already started their preseason also. Uh, Stimac reached Croatia. I'm not sure how saying Stimac reached. How many matches required for Indian players to get confidence? I think it's international stage. It's a bit different than a domestic league like ISL. I think so. They need experience, and that's the reason you can't put your whole responsibility of the team on the young shoulder. You need the experienced player to stand up and lead them and help them to get settled down in the senior level. If India plays with the higher rank countries, they can only do is defending, says Renzo Roshan. You can say that, but I think India has shown in past that they can attack. We have defeated Thailand twice. They were better rank when we defeated them in Asia Cup, and then we defeated again away from our home at their home in the Kings Cup. So it's not that India will defend. India has the ability to win against higher ranked nation. We have played draw against Qatar. I think we have played draw against China. So it's not that India only defend against these countries. But of course, I understand. I want to play Nepal, but we are playing Nepal in October in SAF. So I think playing in this friendly doesn't help. If you ask me, I think we could have. I could have preferred other Asian countries. Ashish bhai, you must discuss tomorrow what happened with Techno Sudesh United FC regarding how corrupted is helping it. I will take all these Indian football, domestic football questions tomorrow in Inside Indian Football. I have some insight coming on the various topics: transfers, I-League qualifiers, Kerala Blaster training camps, strategies, what's going on. So I will reveal them tomorrow. So let's take couple of few questions before we wrap up the shows. Uh, Sudesh, final comment before we go. What are your thoughts before this for the second game? Do you think Nepal can get a win in the second game now, or do you think it will be similar kind of a contest?
No, I thought Nepal could win this match, and in certain extent, I was proven true because Indian team, I guess, started preparing for this friendly 15 days ago, if I'm not wrong. Kind
Yeah.
of 15 days ago, they started the camp. But the Nepali side has been training for 2 months, and they've been training under a kind of a system. So they've become more accustomed to the side, and then playing these kind matches that are of these intensities is always very hard for a side like India who have just prepared for 15 days. So I definitely see that happening in the second match. Nepal might go for a win, or India might also settle and then be much better than what they put on today. Because I've seen this Indian side and they can perform way better than this. So it's an even balance, and I still count on Nepal to pull off a win.
So there lots of Nepalese fans have joined in, so they're sending a question to you. Biplav Thapa says, Sudesh Dai, can Bimal Gati Magar make a good comeback?
I think he can, because he's just 23 odd years of age. It seems like he's been there forever because he debuted at the national team at the age of just 15. And I met him quite a few months ago here in Qatar, and he said his rehabilitation is going pretty well. And from countries like India, Nepal, and the whole South Asian region, coming from an ACL injury is not a very easy task to do, although it appears very
What kind of
frequently.
injury he has? Is it ACL?
Yeah, he has an ACL tear, so he had to go through a surgery. In
And what
European
level?
football, it is, I
Is it
don't know
tier
the
two?
level. Yeah, I don't know the level, but he required a surgery that was very major, and he has been in rehab for like 7 months now, and he's not kicked about a ball as of yet. He's just doing the recreational activities. These seem very frequent in European football, provided the medical facilities that they have. But for players coming from these kind of countries, it's very costly, and it's very they can I mean we have seen careers being ruined by ACL injuries. So I talked to him. When I talked to him, he was saying the rehab was going fine, and he hopes to make it yet again. But he has more obstacles to come over. His personal life, his private life, has been equally as a bad sign for his international career and his injury. So consider that he fixes those, and those things get fixed. I think he can definitely make a comeback.
Yeah. So all the Nepalese fans, you can follow Sudesh on Twitter. His ID is displayed on the screen. It's a Sudesh Baniya 10. My email Twitter ID is already there. I think Indian football fans know that, and they have been following. But if you want to just follow, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram with a similar ID. Arun asked, can Nepal win second match or still very hard to win against India? What's your opinion? I think India will make a comeback. I think now Iger Stimac knows, maybe underestimated Nepal, but now he knows that what is to play Nepal in Nepal. So I think as an Indian fan, I will be positive for India. But of course, the performance Nepal has given today, you can't say that Nepal can't win this. I think Nepal can win for sure with the crowd. I think, and now hopefully they will just allow 5,000 only, because these 5,000, and I'm not sure of the feed you getting to this, but Indian feed sometime was decreasing the crowd level, maybe because the commentary feed need to be up. So they were very noisy sometime. So with this crowd support, I think it's not going to be easy to play Nepal in the second game. Now I think more Nepali fans will believe that uh, that they can win against India, because that's their all dream. I remember when Nepal won in 2013, and I've seen crazy scenes, but the whole Nepal celebrated that win. So hopefully we India keep this undefeated run now in the second game and beat them Nepal. So let's hope for that. We'll discuss about this game, second game on Saturday maybe. Because India is playing Nepal on Sunday, so we will preview the game, second game on Saturday evening. That's for India. Other than that, we touch upon technical system was poor in today match. I think I agree. Overall broadcasting was its quality was decent, but the support given to the broadcasting was not good. Scorecard, lineups, the commentator was not aware of the last name, first name. So, and this is not his fault. I think he should be briefed by from Indian side. Yeah, match is on Sunday. Next game on Sunday, same time, 5:15 p.m. Indian time, 5:30 p.m. Nepalese time. I am now sure of the timing. I have made sure there is no confusion anymore. The match live will be in the Himalayan Sports in Nepal, and YouTube channel called, what is the YouTube channel name? Sudesh?
OSR Sports and Himalayan.
OSR Sports in Nepal, and I think you can watch that streaming outside India also. In India, if you have to watch match, you have to watch it on Indian football team Facebook page. By the way, so that's for the second game. Biplab Thapa says Indian fan need to support the team at a bad time. But all I see is being trolled. We Nepali always support our team, whatever may be the result. I think it's not trolling the team. They're fed up with the coach and the system. Sometimes, and I appreciate the support Nepalese fans give to their team, and I've seen them supporting unconditionally throughout last 10 years. I've been watching South Asian football. Somebody like Kapil knows me from very back in 2011 and 12. So I think hopefully Nepal will see good days in coming days. And I think they support Indian fans. They're supporting the team. It's just for the coach. They are fed up. Arun says, Ashish sir, is your opinion who will win SAF championship? India, Nepal, or Maldives? I think you've taken three names. I would put their Bangladesh in the mix. I think depending on what kind of team India sent. So I will give my opinion once I know the squad. I think the Bangladesh, they have been doing well in the football. Maldives, they always surprise everybody in SAF championship. And of course, Nepal has been preparing for SAF championship for last 1 month. So let's see. Why Manveer Singh looks so tired playing national team? I am not sure, because he playing in the wing back also sometime, and he is defending also playing in the wing. So I'm not sure he was looking tired. I think he was playing. He was pressing in the 90th minute also. So thank you for everybody for joining in. If you have not liked this video, hit that like button so that we can cross those 200 likes. We just 8 likes away from 200 likes. You can subscribe to our channel. There are already lots of videos coming up regarding national team. Another video exclusive. There is a video of Odisha FC and Watford FC partnership press conference. Full video uploaded on the channel. You can watch that to know more about the partnership in detail. There is an exclusive video interview coming from Mohammad Nemil, who is FC Goa player who was in Spain playing in the Spain lower youth leagues division from Kerala. Was a part of Reliance Youth Foundation Young Champ program. I think he was a fantastic upcoming talent, and I heard a lot of good thing about him. So watch out for that interview. It's his first exclusive interview since he came back from Spain. It's coming on this channel only. Uh, just last question. It's Indian fan asking to Sudesh. Was you expecting this kind of result today? Be honest, please.
Yeah, I was. If you looked at our pre-match preview that we did, I expected this to like a result like this to happen because the signs were definitely there. It's just that we played sides like Australia, Iraq, and Jordan, and we couldn't get those wins. But the promising signs were definitely there. We were very compact. We were very good attacking and going forward. Even Australian coach kind of gave us the credit to, you know, get the game to them. So it was like it was expected, and I've also followed Indian football for quite a while and seen India play as well. Considering how they have just managed to get 2 wins after Igor Stimac has taken the realm, I saw this coming. Frankly, I saw this coming. And Ashish, I have a question before we sign off. Not a question, but just a reaction to this. So in his post-match press conference, Igor Stimac said, "I think the Indian team deserved more out of the game." What is your take on this?
I don't think so. India deserve more out of the game. I think it's a deserving result. What we got, we could have lost this. I think we should thank luck. Thank you to the post and the Andrew Thapa effort to score that goal. So I don't agree to the coach on this point for sure. And before we wrap up, there is Levi says we don't troll our team. We are criticizing coach because we want to see India in a best form. That's the thing. And regarding Sudesh expecting today's result, Sudesh's prediction was 1-0. My prediction was 3-1 India. His prediction 1-0 Nepal. So we went with ahead with our country. And this another this question has been we are discussing with Nepali fans in back in 2013. Does height matter in football? So let's take one example. Messi height doesn't matter. Then another example, Andu Thapa, for example, Indian team, he's not that tall, playing in center midfield, dominating the midfield, scoring goals. Sunil Chetri is not tall. So I don't think height matters. If height was an issue, then South Korea, Japan would have not done well from Asia. We would have seen West Asian countries doing better than them. So I will not say height matters. It's just your playing style, your tactics, your formation should be made according to the physicality of your players.
Yeah, I think it matters on the context of how you want to play and what your approach is. For example, if you are planting in crosses, I would say height definitely matters for a striker. But if you are, kind of a possession based and believe in your technicalities entirely, I don't think height matters at all.
Adding on this, I think Sunil Chetri's height is just, I think
Yeah.
he's 5, but then he's one of the leading goal scorer in world football, and active goal scorer right now. I think he's third, and he's just 1.7 meter, and similarly Baiching Bhutia. So one of the best two South Asian strikers we have in recent history are not that tall. So I think that's my opinion. That's of course height does matter, but of course we have seen enough examples to to figure it out. The height doesn't matter. Uh, Thank you for everybody's side pushes work when you're physically more developed. I know it worked, but then you can't push somebody like Messi, when he with the height, even Sunil Chetri. You need to make sure your upper body is strong. Even if it's small, if your upper body has the shoulder has the strength like Chetri has. Chetri can't be pushed away by any tall defenders. We have seen him play against various defenders throughout his career. I think Sunil Chetri is the best example because he's from South Asia, being from Nepali roots, being Indian. I think that's the best example we can give of height and is it important or not. Uh, Sunil and Bhutia both. Bhutia is not Nepali origin. Rancho bhai, I have been fighting this. Bhutia is from Sikkim. So he has nothing to do with Nepal. Sunil Chetri is of course have his roots in Nepal through his mom. So that's on clarity. So which is I will say true because I don't want to hurt your feeling also, but that's the thing. I think that's it for today. We have crossed 200 likes. Thank you, Sudesh, for joining in. See you tomorrow on Saturday, most probably evening time. I think we'll like to keep it a live streaming setup only. We'll try to bring more guests in if you can bring it from Indian side or maybe host so that I can just represent India and then don't need to the hosting part of it. Thank you for everybody for joining in. You can share this video. You can watch it again. It will be posted again offline after this live streaming ends. Thank you very much. You can get all the links of Khel now on the description. There is match report, player ratings, both press conferences from the both the coaches coming on our website. And of course, for every Indian football and Indian sports news, you can go to the khelnow.com. You can check out our Instagram, Twitter handle for every updates of not just Indian football, for Indian sports. We have been covering basketball, kabaddi, Paralympics, hockey, every sports now, not just football anymore, because it's Khel, it's all sports. Thank you for everybody joining in. I will see you again in tomorrow inside